The journey into the blue continues. After I already showed you how I paint a Breaka-Boy crusher from the Wrecker Crew kill team in the glorious colors of the sneaky Deathskulls, today it's time to focus on perhaps the most loyal and certainly the most chaotic companions of all Orc clans, the Squigs. More specifically, we're looking at the Bomb Squigs of the Wrecker Crew. The Wrecker Crew comes with two Bomb Squigs which I painted differently. Today we'll be focusing on the yellow one. There's once again plenty to discover on this painting journey, and as always I hope you enjoy it. I start with the largest area of the model, which is the skin. Before switching to traditional brushes, I begin using a sponge. For this I use a small sponge stamp. These are used a bit less frequently in miniature painting than the more common makeup sponges, but both have their advantages. In this specific case I deliberately chose the sponge stamp because its core structure fits this project extremely well. Since the paint is not really thinned when working with a sponge, it creates a fantastic surface texture that really benefits the material. This will become especially apparent later when we get to the Tank Buster bomb. For the skin alone I use four colors: Scrag Brown, Avalanche Sunset, Ereal Yellow and Flash Gitz Yellow. We begin with the darkest color, Scrag Brown. This is stippled onto all skin areas and I'm not afraid to cover other parts of the miniature as well. Next we apply Avalanche Sunset in a similar manner, but we deliberately cover slightly less of the surface, allowing the brown to remain visible in the recesses. After that we move on to Ereal Yellow, our second brightest skin tone. Here it's important not to completely cover the previous layers. Thanks to the slightly translucent nature of this layer paint, this is fairly easy to control. Finally, Flash Gitz Yellow is applied. At this stage these already function as our final highlights. For speed paint approach, the skin could already be left like this. However, I want to show you one additional step that refines the results and compensates for some of the limitations of sponge painting. This is where we switch to a classic fine detail brush for the first time. With it, we revisit all the colors primarily using the stippling technique, work on areas that the sponge couldn't reach. As mentioned before, this rough contrast can be very appealing and is perfectly valid for faster paint jobs. With the brush, however, we now introduce finer structure that mainly act as transitions. Once this brush refinement is complete, you can clearly see how much the brush adds and how well sponge and brush techniques complement each other. With that, the skin is finished. That's it for the skin and the overall texture of the Bomb Squig. Over on Patreon the full video continues with the remaining parts of the model and shows how everything comes together into the final Deathskulls look. As always, thanks for watching. Until next time, have fun!